Good afternoon, and everybody, welcome to the last day of 7 days of San Bernardino Singing. So we've had an amazing week full of conversation with authors and artists from the new anthology, San Bernardino Singing, which was published by Inlandia, the IE's literary nonprofit. I'm Christina Guillem, Programs Coordinator for Inlandia, and I've learned so much this week. I have learned so much from all of the artists, all of the authors, and today is no exception. We'll get to hear from more authors and artists, including Nikia Cheney, our editor, Irene Monica Sanchez, Erika Ayon, and Sophia Paegle, and others. So we'll hear a few words from Nikia and then some readings from our authors. So Nikia, welcome. Thanks for being here.
Hello, hello. So I'll make it brief. I was going to type something up in the Q&A as well too. One of the beautiful things about an anthology is that it's so full of everyone's stories and everyone's voices. And I think that that's the vision that we had for it when we put it together those many, many, many months ago. But I have so enjoyed kind of revisiting it and hearing all your voices again and seeing your videos. So I just want to say, as we're ending, this is our last day, thank you. Thank you so much for putting your hearts and your words into these pages. Thank you so much for trusting Inlandia and trusting me to kind of do something with this work. And thank you so much for finding a home in San Bernardino. I just think that it's so wonderful to have that place, but know that that place means so much more than just my own experiences for it. So let's hear you guys. I don't want to talk more, so I want to hear you guys. So let's go, okay? So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
All right, Nikia, thank you. We're going to first hear from Irene Sanchez. So Irene, if you would like to read.
Yes, thank you. This is one of my poems in the anthology. It's untitled. I remember the days I woke up to taste the dusty air. Sometimes I almost choked. Sip of water from the nightstand and I rolled over to see foil on the windows that never kept the heat out. The sun stings, but I don't feel it. Fire has raised me here, a grown woman who isn't grown. I spent my early 20s being raised in Muscoy. I think about how perhaps I still haven't learned to use what this land has taught me. Perhaps I've been afraid, knowing that if I want to, I can rise gradually and gracefully, like the hawks overhead, circling the places, these places I will always fly back to rest and to call home.
Thank you so much. Beautiful work. Erika Ayon, you are next to read, please.
Hi, thank you. So I'll be reading my poem in the anthology titled The Moment. The moment when my husband finds out about the terrorist attack at the San Bernardino Inland Regional Center, December 2nd, 2015. The moment we heard about it, he called everyone who still lived there. His mom, stepdad, grandparents. Even though he knew it was highly unlikely, there was still in his mind a chance. They could have been passing by. Something had brought them there. San Bernardino never felt so small. The way he talked about it, I understood why them. A city that had lost so much, the economy never bounced back, the jobs that left didn't come back. It's not like other cities, he kept saying. The pain was already there. The city had already been mourning, still clearing the rubble from many earthquakes. He refused to go and see where it happened. When we went back to visit his family the first Christmas after it occurred, it had since created a panic-sized void inside of him. He was exhausted from having to lose the person there, from having to make space in his mind for more of his ghost, having to turn another place there into a graveyard. He was sad that for some, this will be the only thing that they knew of San Bernardino. They won't know the way the mountains embrace the city, swallow the sky. How indigenous tribes called it the Valley of the Cup Hand of God. How streets are carved from stones instead of dirt. How the wind still carries the scent of orange and olive groves from long ago. Thank you.
Thank you, Erika. Can we hear from Julie Paegle next? Welcome, Julie.
Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me? I apologize in advance if you hear howling. I kicked my human family out so they would not compete for bandwidth. And that means I'm here alone with our 7 enormous dogs. I will be reading my poem from the anthology, which is called Crossroads Acrostic for Fault Crossing Metropolis. Speeding down the Cajon Pass, we swerve into swelter and the city sees us. And so, no longer anonymous, we are heat seized. Crosshairs rise up unbidden within us, not quite a presence, neither a transparence, nor the twilight opacities of cities spilled into each other across sundown boundaries. To the left, tracks. To the right, alluvial fans drift northwest from the rest of America, which eases southeast along with River's End, past wherever waters slow down enough from their mouths, roaring torrents to drop blocks of terrain scraped off the far part of mountain range. Say, no place like home. Say, no way to see. Say, how hard we push to merge our bodies, to drop bulky ampersands from you and me. We've pulled over to pull at each other by the rocks where your bullet raised the mule deer, buck heaving his 5x5 rack, wrought from forage, free to grow from seeds, dropped into ashen mud of the blue-cut fires, clear-cut. That deer laid down his burden. His velvet ends in us, fixed. Give me your hand, some weight. Our stars might yet antler across onyx. Let's go down now to love's grind and crush, to this city that spans our frictions and faults, even when we shove past each other. Pedro y Padre, La Llorona, and Jedediah, syringe, slip, orange, seed, hoax, polis, coaxing, need, full, stop, open, mouth, kiss, into an adult box velvet night, shed at Santa Ana's hiss, cut your horns on this. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much, and perfect timing. And thank you to your family and your dogs for letting you read. So if we have Ruth Nolan, would she like to read? Ruth?
Hello, everybody. Good morning or afternoon. It's an honor to be here. I'm part of this incredible anthology. I'm sorry that my screen is having problems. It's kind of psychedelic, and I'm having trouble figuring it out. So I'm just going to read. You can all hear me fine, right?
Yes, we can hear you
Okay.
good.
And I would just like to say that the overlap and incidentality of what's happening across our country, and the timing of me reading my poem, touching back to the terrorist act in San Bernardino, I'm just feeling a lot of resonance and, shared experience here. Song for San Bernardino. The pain shall pass, but the beauty shall remain. Renoir. I've not gone to confession since early childhood, lost to St. Bernardine's Church in downtown San Bernardino, as I've been for so many years, since abandoning the city of my birth at the age of 13, trading religion of the Inland Empire for the guiltless desert. Now there are so many canyons, so secrets to unfold. I used to explore with my brothers and dad through the fire-singed cottonwoods along the Santa Ana River bottom, where ancient waters from hidden seeps of the old volcano named Mount San Gorgonio, the towers above our town. During my childhood, we could barely see its peak through the smog. Coyote weeps as the mountain stirs again. So much smoke in his eyes, so much violence in the sky. Trying to remember his indigenous name, his tears joining the river of lost souls. I once knew only Catholic dreams, fueled by Spaniards spreading across the land with the blood of American Indians. Crosses everywhere, the 18th century Asistencia in Redlands that stands to this day next to a mental hospital, the rise of Catholics and Mormons in Anglo-European ways, on and on, the blood shedding then and now. San Bernardino, city of forgotten dreams, forsaken city of Hell's Angels, city of the first McDonald's on East Street, city of the Rolling Stones at Swing Auditorium, the All-American city, situated where fault zones meet, where the arrowhead points down to my hometown, flowing, overflowing with the blood of all of the world, of all the old secret stories buried untold. There's so much to excavate from beneath its toxic river, buried as it is now by freeway overpasses, exploited by irritating helicopters, SWAT teams, news cameras, internet, the world hovering above our town. SWAT teams on the way, but chemicals and bullets and religious ideologies gone mad will erupt in our town and haunt us for their forever half-lives. Silent night is our love song in this season, and the cycles of our river go on and on, harmonizing flood and drought, the rise and fall of Christmas decorations in the conference halls. Excuse me.
Sorry, Ruth. Sorry to interrupt. 3
Yeah.
minutes has gone by right now.
Oh, okay. I didn't know we had 3 minutes. I'm good then. We can stop there.
Thank you for your poem.
Thank
though.
you. Okay.
And then we're going to hear next from Liz Gonzalez. Hi, Liz. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, I'm a proud fourth generation San Bernardinian, and I'm going to read from my poem, Fall in the Chaparral. Santa Ana winds howl down Cajon Pass. I sleep on the edge, my side of the bed, not to disturb. You snore on the couch. Gusts plow calico-hued hillsides. Filigree bones of a scrub jay's wing snuggle in the shadow box you made to save the memory. Flailing yucca swords slash the moonlight. A battery-operated clock glows on the mantle. Electricity is unreliable during winds and quakes. Bitter breeze whistles through window cracks. Your Granny Smiths rot in the glued back together anniversary bowl. You don't notice the smell. Brittle bush boughs, Christmas berry slants, rattles. I scrub pomegranate specks off the carpet before you spot them. A coyote crouches behind beaver tail cactus, ready to pounce on a jackrabbit. We waste hours bickering like tumbleweeds bouncing aimlessly in the cactus garden. Dry leaves crumble so easily, veins can't sustain them. Our tromps back and forth shake the wood floor, startle snakes slithering beneath the foundation. Manzanita bushes thrash as though they want to uproot and bolt. We snap our love like weak branches cracking off eucalyptus trees. You brush shards of us into a dustpan. Add a spark to the drying landscape, uncontrollable wildfire will result. Flames cleanse the soil of allelopathic compounds, clear space for new growth. Buds curl dry on branches. Cinder does not disintegrate. We toast Thanksgiving from opposite ends of our new glass table. Fall quickens.
All right, Liz, thank you. Tristan Acker, if you're ready to read, we'd love to read.
Hi, I'm Tristan, and I have one piece in here. It's Skaters Prevail. Now you know why young Latinas of my city walk their kids past. Now you know why young Latinas of my city walk their kids past the fountains of City Hall on the deck of the only noticeable municipal building. Once you're on E Street Bridge between City Hall and Carousel, all you see behind you is the statue of Martin Luther King Jr. In front of you, the murky glass mall entrance. The skaters will outlast the enforcement of your loitering laws. The skaters will outlast the 10 businesses left in the seemingly empty mall. The skaters will outlast the sign that reads Radisson closed for renovations they put up in the 90s. The skaters will outlast M&D Holdings. The roof's leak resistance and structural integrity. The skaters will outlast that too. Your economic system, your central city shopping center, your venture capital, the money to pay enough security to chase kids away. The skaters will outlast them all. And when you're smoking a cigarette next to the year's unused bike racks, look out at a damn near empty parking lot. Tune into the sweet gray air silence California's January brings. All you hear is the sound of kicklets. And I realized for the first time.
Okay, Tristan, we couldn't hear you at the end there, but thank you for your poem. And if we have time at the end, we can have you talk a little bit. I wanted to hear next from Carlos Cortez. Carlos.
Hi, and I would like to dedicate this to Nakia, who brought us all together, and to Christina, who asked me a question on Tuesday about the ending of my poem that's caused me to rethink the entire poem, and I'm going to connect it with another poem I've written. So I'm going to go morph right from Twin Cities, which is in the anthology, to State Line, which was published earlier in my earlier book, and now has new meaning for me. Twin Cities. I grew up in Kansas City, Missouri, across the river from our twin city, Kansas City, Kansas. So when I would look at a map in some magazine and saw Kansas City, I never gave a thought to which one was being cited and which one was being excluded. But when I accepted a faculty position at the University of California, Riverside, I quickly learned that depending upon which map, Riverside might be there east of Los Angeles, but sometimes it was nowhere to be found, giving way to San Bernardino. Or maybe they, too, were considered twin cities. And like my two Kansas cities, their individual existence was merely an illustrator's whim. 50 years and many maps later, sometimes with Riverside, sometimes with San Bernardino, often with neither, seldom with both, I occasionally wonder, who makes these decisions? Who decides whether our cities exist or become invisible? Let's morph right into State Line. State Line Road was a Kansas City street of legend running north and south, the west lane in Kansas, the east lane in Missouri, separating laws, cultures, jokes, sports rivalries, and police departments, dividing two states and states of mind. Teenagers exploited State Line, for until 21 you couldn't drink in Missouri, but at 18 you could buy 3.2% beer in Kansas, although you couldn't bring it across State Line into Missouri unless you were old enough. But we did it anyway, if we were brave enough. State Line was a safe harbor, where if you were spotted speeding in one state, you could flee across State Line and thumb your nose at the cops on the other side, or so the story goes. Although I never thumbed my nose at cops in Kansas or Missouri. And of course, I never broke the speed limit since I believed in law and order. But we were also wary of State Line. For if you picked up your date in one state and went to a drive-in theater in the other and engaged in sexual unmentionables, you might be breaking the 1910 Mann Act, which barred transporting women across state lines for illicit purposes. At least that was the story told by college kids. Although it wasn't all that important to me, since in high school, I was such a dork that I didn't have many opportunities to engage in sexual admissions on either side of state line. So, Nakia, my third poem, which I haven't written yet now, is going to be about the freeway connecting Riverside and San Bernardino, or maybe separating them. So thanks for the inspiration.
All right, Carlos, keep on writing. Deenaz Coachbuilder. Hi, Deenaz.
Hi there. So this is a poem about students who attended a very unique school in San Bernardino, and the poem is called The Tooth Fairy. The tumult of the breaking school day swirls through the halls of this alternate school campus. Laurie, a young lady described as high-functioning, calls out, "I'm assisting the handicapped," as she helpfully wheels her friend's chair from the bus into a specially designed classroom. Broad-shouldered Tony flaps his hands held in front of him as he saunters in. He can read, but cannot smile. Ancient wisdom lines his brows. Some I recognize by the sounds they make, not by words, but I understand. Sometimes they let me climb into their world. Sometimes theirs is a lonely fortress. Here comes Joe, running into the front office from a separate section of the building. Recently expelled for carrying a gun in his worn backpack, he is on loan to me for a precious defining year. Then he must return to his home school. A 6-year-old angel, glorious curls, eyes with the glow of smoldering bronze, delicate features, a naughtiness begging to be noticed. "My tooth is falling out, Miss Mary," he proudly declares. "Let me shake it," she says, and together they tug out this beautiful pearl white milk tooth. Mary the clerk seals it in an envelope. "Place it under your pillow so the tooth fairy can visit you tonight." Unfamiliar with tooth fairies, he's full of wonder. I found him sitting on the cement curb when I drove in that morning, parking in the usual principal's reserved spot. I thought I missed the bus, so I walked to school. He had walked a long way. We gave him breakfast and then a second breakfast before I accompanied him to his classroom. Mid-morning, Mary and I realized our mistake. During Joe's break, we quietly exchanged the envelope hidden in anticipation within the turmoil of his desk before he can transport it home. Inside this one is $1. A while later, the whirlwind visits us. First Miss Mary, then he runs into my room to share this unusual event, a gift. I hug him. It must all come out well in the end. It must. That comfortless, Joe will learn to comfort his own. That wordless, they will find a song to sing. Thank you.
Very well read. Thank you, Deenaz. Linda Ravenswood, sorry. If you're here, Linda, please read. She's not here. Okay, can we maybe instead, Linda is not here, I think, so let's see. Is there anyone who hasn't read that would like to read?
Juanita Mantz is here. I don't see Linda in the audience. Actually, wait, hold on a second. We have one person who'd like to say something from the audience, if we can give it just
Okay, sure.
maybe Linda will get here. So, oops, no. Joan Kerper, let's see. Oh, I'm sorry, Joan, if you can hear me. I'm getting a message that says that you can't because you're using an old version of Zoom, but why don't you, if you could, post your comment in the Q&A box.
Okay.
So sorry about that, Joan.
Juanita, if you have something, would you like to read Juanita Mantz?
Yes, where did Juanita go? Oh, there she is.
Christina,
Yes, ma'am.
if you have time, I'll read a short poem.
We've got
There you
Juanita.
go.
Let's see, and then we can go back.
Hi, Juanita. Let's see.
I think I'm having technical difficulties.
Okay, we can hear you now. We got you. Oh, the video.
Well, it looks like we lost Juanita's video.
Okay.
We could read the Q&A. It looks like Joan.
Sure.
Joan Kerper, she says, I can hear and see you, but you can't see or hear me. So that's true. This is a different format, Joan, so you can only hear and see if you're part of the audience, but you can't be seen or heard unless we are able to enable the speaking capabilities, but it's not allowing us to because of the version of Zoom you're using. So sorry about that. This is great. Congratulations, everyone. Okay.
Okay. I think Juanita came back. Let me see if she can unmute and read.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
I'm going to read a poem called Broken Cookies, or a piece of it.
Okay.
Mom used to bring us broken almond cookies from the Chinese restaurant in Ontario she worked at. The cookies came in a clear plastic bag. These are the cast-offs, Mom would say. We would howl with delight, stuffing our faces with the sweet mess. Mom would scream, yell, hit after a night of bringing people their almond chicken, weighing her arms down with plates. A white customer called her a Mexican, snapped his fingers, asked her if she spoke English. Who the hell do you think you are, she said. I was born here and I married a white man. I speak better English than you. Mom yelled back. Later, she said she should have told the gringo to shove his tip up his ass. Mom always had confidence that way. When a security guy stopped us at the Kmart when we were little, your jeans look too new, he said. Did you steal those? Mom flipped him off and shouted back, I bought my girls these jeans. I bought these jeans for my girls from somewhere else. You don't make jeans this pretty here. I'll end there. Thank you.
Thank you, Juanita. I think Deenaz wanted to read one more, and then we can probably do some giveaways, some book giveaways. So.
Okay, this poem is called Inlandia's Girl. I left my land and I left my people a long time ago. I came to this country to study, and knowledge held my hands, and wisdom's shadow grew with the years. I married my beloved, and 2 sons arose from our hearts and extended our limbs, and a grandson grows from a cherished bough. I worked hard and made friends, weave webs of words and paint canvases with images. Pain and joy strengthens my gait. I left my land and I left my people, but that was a long time ago. I look around at this space made sacred, for here is my land and you are my people.
Thank you, Deenaz. Round of virtual applause. So next up, we're going to do our book giveaway. Everyone who has registered for all of the events throughout the week has been entered into the contest to win. So we're going to do 2 book giveaways with this, and then we'll do a trivia question to see how much you know about San Bernardino.
All right, so I've unmuted myself. This is Katie. I don't know if you can hear. Hi, I'm the girl behind the curtain spinning the imaginary wheel. There are 67 of us who have been, thank you to everybody who has come this week and participated in 1 or more events. So you have a 1 in 67 chance of winning. So number 12, I'm going back to my list. Number 12 is the first winner, and that is Cynthia Duran. So I don't think Cynthia is here right now, but I will get in touch. I have her email. So going back again, this is going to be for winner number 2. If you have, yeah, let's see. Number 43, let's see, who is number 43? Hiawatha Norris. Okay, so that I think is Gwen Norris. And don't see them in the audience today either, but we have 1 more chance. And this is a trivia question. So let's, I'm gonna turn it over to Christina.
Okay, so this question was taken from one of Larry Burns' books on things to do in the Inland Empire. The question is, what San Bernardino motel inspired the Cozy Cone Motel in Disney's animation movie Cars?
Oh.
What's San Bernardino motel?
If anybody knows the answer, either raise your hand or type it in the comment box. That's a hard one. Okay. Oh, we have somebody allowed to talk. Let's see. Hi, we have 1 raised hand. Who's this? I've just unmute.
It's Nan.
Hi,
Nan.
Nan.
Wigwam?
Do you know the answer?
Maybe.
Yes, Wigwam.
Oh, Wigwam.
Wigwam Hotel. Motel. Yes, that's correct.
Okay, yay, Nan.
Woo, yay!
All right, congratulations, Nan.
Yay! Thank you.
All right. So, thank you to everybody who was here today. This was a really amazing 7 days of events. Does anybody have any, last words that we want to share with each other before we move on? Let's see. Christina?
I'm going to read something here from Julie. She says, and Erika and Irene, I cannot imagine more perfect poems to kick off today's reading, both heartbreaking and honest. Resonant and crucial poems. Okay. So if no one has any finishing words, Nakia?
Well,
One more thing.
So I'm going to jump in here just a quick second because we might have a contender. What time did Nan give us her answer? Francis typed it in at 3:34. So let's see. Where did Nan type her answer?
Just give it to them both.
Oh, 3:29. Okay. Sorry, Francis. Well, we can all take it up at the program committee meeting this week. Okay.
Oh, Carlos, I see your hand.
I think we all got to give a shout out for Nikia, Katie, and Christina for their tremendous putting this week together. It's been fabulous.
Aw,
Can
thank
we
you.
make a group shout out?
Yay! Yay!
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I just want to thank Inlandia and thank Katie and thank Christina because, like I said, you guys, me idea, but all of this is put together by them. They did everything and they did such a beautiful, beautiful job. So, you know, everybody's thanking me. It's just an idea, but everybody else, Inlandia is so important in our region, what they're doing and what they're putting together. And then all of you guys. So thank you. This is all everyone else's work. So I really appreciate that. And what a beautiful reading. Oh my God, it was so beautiful. It was so beautiful.
This was really wonderful. So thank you, Nikia, for giving us this idea and for all that you've done for us. Shall we end it all by yelling, yay, San Bernardino, or? Okay, so on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, yay,
San Bernardino!
Right. We'll see each other again soon.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Guys.
Thank you guys. Julie.
Thank you. Bye. Thanks for all your Viva Inlandia Institute.
You guys look so good.